Okay, so I'm a day late with this video, but here we are once again. Hey legends, welcome along to a new episode on the channel. We're doing another review here of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Still stupidly excited that the legend Kevin Smith is showrunner and executive producer on this, and I was just listening to a podcast of Fat Man Beyond with him and Mark Bernardin, and I think it's probably about a week old at this point, and they were commenting on where the show is at the minute, Revelation, and I think they've written the first 5 episodes now, so that's way off now to get animated. So it's early days for that show, so it gives us plenty of time to go through He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So episode 2 is called The Shaping Staff, and a lot of stuff happens in this episode, but it can be compacted very well. At the beginning, King Randor, I remembered his name this time, and his wife, who are king and queen, obviously, of Eternia, Prince Adam, alias He-Man, is their son. At the beginning, they're in the courtroom, and Orko is doing magic tricks, and Man-at-Arms and Teela are there, and Orko's trying his best to entertain, being the court magician, and he tries a spell where he draws a circle on the ground, and he said he's going to summon a demon. Very dark sounding for a cartoon, I know. It's very, very magic orientated, this show, and there's a lot of spells and witchcraft and stuff that goes on in it. Excuse me, but I think there's a bit of dirt on the lens of the auto cue, even though I don't use it anymore. It's there. I digress. Orko casts a spell. Now the running thing with Orko is that he's a magician, betrayed, but not a very good one. Most of us, if not all, his magic messes up on him. Something goes wrong each time, but in this case something actually appears, and it's a woman who claims to be a travelling magician, would she mind if she entertained the king and queen? And they say yes, and Orko's all put out, and he leaves, and she does a few tricks, mix magic, musical instruments appear with magic, and they float about and play music, and the king and queen are very happy with this. And something else popped into my head. He-Man's mother refers to herself as a human in this episode, so Eternia is in another planet, if I have my memories correct. It's not Earth, obviously. She refers to herself as a human, which means as Prince Adam, He-Man / half human, half Eternian, you know. So that kind of struck me at the beginning of this episode. Anyway, the travelling magician, she says she makes this box appear, and anything that goes into the box will disappear, and she demonstrates this by getting King Randor to step into the box. So she casts a spell, the door opens, he's gone, and Man-at-Arms and Teela straight away are freaking out. You know, they're like the palace guard, essentially. And what's the meaning of this? And the travelling magician says no problem, and she closes the door, casts a spell again, opens the door. The king walks out, but he doesn't say anything. He just goes back, sits down and starts eating. And eventually we find out that the king that came back out of the box is actually Beastman in disguise, and the travelling magician is actually Evil-Lyn, who's changed their appearance through the shaping staff that she's carrying in this episode. So she puts that to use against He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and she gets the King Randor locked up in the palace dungeons. Orko finds out about this. He gets changed into a cricket. He gets put on with him as well, and it escalates quite quickly, and Prince Adam is very weary of these ones, and he gets a heads up from Orko that what's happening. The king has been changed. It's Evil-Lyn's Beastman, and he transforms into He-Man, of course, and just as Evil-Lyn and Beastman are coming to get Adam, of course they find He-Man in his place, and He-Man is like, yes, I guess Prince Adam's fears are now confirmed, sort of thing. So during the fight between He-Man and Evil-Lyn, she turns him into a solid gold statue, and they take the shaping staff to why did I forget Skeletor's name? They take the shaping staff along with He-Man to Skeletor, who has in the meantime created a double of He-Man called Faker to lure the sorceress out of Castle Grayskull, because her powers are not as strong if she's not in the castle. So she comes out. Faker calls for help, pretend to be He-Man, and she comes out to help him, and Evil-Lyn changes her into a tree, essentially, like roots her to the ground through the shaping staff. But He-Man is able to keep in contact with the sorceress through the power of his mind. So they're having a back and forth. He-Man's like, can you break free and change me back? And she manages to do it. He-Man comes back from the solid gold statue. It all breaks off him, and him and Faker both have a hand-to-hand combat, and Faker falls off the front of Castle Grayskull into the Endless Gorge, and at the end of the episode, He-Man takes the shaping staff, and the only way I can break the spell is to break this. So he snaps it in half, and everybody that was changed through the shaping staff gets changed back to their normal form, original form. And Evil-Lyn is like, she lifts half the shaping staff and says there's still enough magic here to do away with you all, and she tries to cast a spell with it, and of course it backfires on her, and she changes into some sort of weird creature, and that's pretty much where we end off at. Skeletor's plans once again come to nothing, and at the end of the episode we have our happy send-off with everybody's, everything's fine and well, and of course again the PSA at the end of the episode this time is Orko, and he's like, the moral of the story of this episode is not to trust strangers. A stranger came into the palace, and because we trusted her, bad things happen. So don't trust strangers, don't accept gifts from strangers, don't walk away with strangers, don't go anywhere with them, and go and tell someone immediately if a stranger approaches you. So it's an amazing thing about this cartoon. And back in the 80s, where we were just, we were taught good common sense from a young age through these shows, and they were entertaining as all heck, and you came out of it a little bit wiser at the end of it, and a little bit better. So yes, that's it for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the shaping staff. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please hit that subscription button, and don't forget to press that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Please get into the description box below this video and check out my social media links down there, and check out all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.